It is my distinct pleasure to share with you Metro's Mythic Plus library. This Google document should act as a catalog of every key that we ran on the channel, on the stream, etc. over the course of this entire season. And the reason we made it is because I really want to take the next step into Shadowlands. Especially in season 1 of Shadowlands, I feel like having every single run documented is a very big deal. And being able for individuals to learn from them more specifically, instead of just watching a 5-hour stream and potentially being lulled to sleep by that length, this should be a lot more focused. You'll be able to see the runs that you want. You'll be able to see all the information from said runs you want. And honestly, it's not that much work. This was a lot of work because I had to build it backwards. It took me almost 4 weeks to do that because I had to start from wherever we are today and go all the way back to January, going through all the streams. But yeah, if I just do it as we go, it won't be that much work. It doesn't take more than, maybe a minute or two per video. The only thing is, another thing I want to do is start recording each run and uploading them as separate videos as well. So a lot of the runs on this list are just timestamps to the stream, which is perfectly functional. You could watch that specific run from that timestamp, but I would rather have them as separate videos too, for multiple reasons. One, because it kind of, as a meta analysis, kind of allows me to turn one thing into two things content wise. Like, if I could produce the stream and then also produce basically clips of the stream, which is just these 30-minute potential runs, I think it could help the channel and it'll help individuals find the channel easier. But also because I would rather that each individual run could have a kind of comment section and discussion about it individually. So this is certainly the best way to do that. Of course, when you have a run that's 5 minutes long and something absurd happens, it might be easy to overlook that in a 5-hour stream. And I think this is the right way to do it. So the only problems that I've ran into so far is memory. I constantly forget to record. Hopefully I can get better at that. I'm practicing it now for Shadowlands, right? Season 4 of BFA, I don't really care about the statistics of. Obviously, it's nice to see it, but I'm definitely doing this for Shadowlands. So you as a viewer, you should practice this for Shadowlands too. Think of ways that you could use this document. Think of ways that you could learn from this type of compilation of information, and maybe ways that you'd like to see it improve. So I'm open to anything, and if there's a way to allow like the community to participate in this too, like somehow help me make it, then that's perfect. That'd be great. Frankly, I don't know a lot about Google Documents, but I am going to show you some things about what you can do with this document now. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, so this is what it might look like from your perspective. I have typically logged into my document, and I would be logged in on the Ace Games account, but so this is what it might look like for you. Currently, you could scroll through, you could take a look. I'll explain every column and give you a little bit more of a heads up. So this on here is the link to the YouTube video. So in case it's not already clear, if you click this, it will take you to the YouTube video with the timestamp included. So you go exactly to this run. As you see, the first run we chose was King's Rest 19, and this is a King's Rest 19. Now, of course, it's from the stream, so especially before I got the new computer, the quality it might not be the best, but that's how you'll view most of these for season 4. And in the future, we're looking to do more of. Let's see if I can get a good example. But yeah, these ones look good. We're looking to do more of this here, where see it's an actual specific video, right? Like it's its own video and it's recorded, at full quality that you would expect for that. No peripherals from the stream as well. So like no OBS stuff. No chat on the screen, stuff like that. This is a particularly funny run, ironically. The shaman goes into the obelisk. But anyway, so this is great. I love looking at this, and I think hopefully you guys will too. And you can see every single run as an individual video for those that are applicable. Like I said, I've only included runs that are on the channel. Obviously, I do a lot of runs off stream, but I think the channel, has a good majority of the content to such a degree that we can learn a lot from that. So let's talk about the other things that you can look at. Obviously, here is the dates. Now, these are the dates the runs were done, not the date that I recorded them in this document. So they're all out of the place because that's just how I had to build it. Like, as you see, these days here were days that I was streaming, and then these days here are days that I was recording in the past. So, I had to build it in 2 directions, which is really arduous. But obviously, this column here is the dungeons. It should be pretty obvious. I did have to use some shorthand because I didn't want the columns to be so long that you couldn't fit it all on one. You see how, at least on my monitor, 1080p, I'm able to see the entirety on one monitor. I did add these things that are supposed to collapse it, but I can't actually allow people other than me to do it. If I click this, it collapses this set of columns and this set of columns here, but I don't know if there's a way for you to do it. But anyway, maybe if you download the form, you can do it as well. But yeah, so I did use some shorthand, like for example, Borealis, Waycrest, Cethralis, Shrine, stuff like that. So obviously level, hopefully that's clear. It's the level of the keystone, okay? My spec, that's the spec I played during the POV. So a lot of it's blood decay, but not everything's blood decay. And of course, we have some bear druid, some hunter, some shaman as well along the way. So a lot of paladin. Okay, so result. This is probably the most important one here, okay? This is whether or not the key was an upgrade, a disband, meaning it did not finish. Okay, so that's what I use to say the key stopped going. A disband. Upgrade is we finished the key and the timer rolled over into one higher. Okay. Upgrade +2 is we finished the key and the timer rolled over into two higher. There's a rare upgrade +3, but on a lower key, of course. And then there is completion, which is we finished the key, but the key went down one. Okay, so those are the 4 designations. And, this is probably the column that's maybe the most interesting because I'm going to show you a little bit of interesting thing that you might do immediately, but that's kind of the column that I'm most interested in. Then there's the affix set. Now this one's a little bit different because not only does it say, like I said, I'm trying to combine all of these into one block, all 4 of these columns into one block, but it also links to another document that I made, which I will show you as well. The Mythic Plus info document, as you see, it's a direct link to the week and also to my recommendation for what I believe the worst dungeon is and the grade overall, which is a part of a video that me and Cop made. So you can check that out too. But otherwise, it shows the actual fixes. And this is important, fix 1, 2, and 3, because you might want to see how a Blood Death Knight plays on Sanguine, for example. Like you want to see every dungeon I do that's a Sanguine dungeon. But that's all well and good because not all Sanguine dungeons happen on week 7. Some happen on week 3, as you see here. So, yeah, you could sort by Sanguine and see only blood decay on Sanguine. You could see only blood decay on Tyrannical. You could see only blood decay on like Necrotic or something like that. You know what I mean? So you could sort by the week if you only care about like Sanguine Cracking Fortified. You want to see push week. You're looking to say, like, for example, push week here, Volcanic Busting Fortified, that's week 9. So you could look for only week 9. You could sort through only week 9, etc. And, see how good we did on push week, etc. So then, of course, for the rest of the document, we're documenting the actual comp in the group. And I think that is extremely important as well. So for most of them, it's going to be me as a tank, but I didn't differentiate that because I don't feel like it was needed. And it does kind of skew the results because like 90% of the keys are blood decay. Maybe not 90, but a good amount of them are blood decay. And also a good amount of them are Holy Pally too. So just because a lot of people play Holy Pally and I play a lot of Holy Pally, but it's just something to keep in mind. Maybe you could learn something from these columns. More realistically, you might learn more from the columns that aren't me tanking. So if I'm the tank, if you chose my spec blood decay, you might want to ignore this column and then look at the healer column instead and say like, oh wow, he had like 70 druids throughout that season. That's a lot of druids and only like 10 holy priests, something like that. Or you might want to look at, say, how many DK DPS were present, or maybe how many runs didn't include a rogue or a demon hunter. That might be an interesting thing. So you can do this all very easily as well. Now, it might sound complicated. And trust me, I know as little about Google Documents as anybody. Oh, also, just in case, I included a link, just for people who might be super new, I included a link to the class in the class thing, just in case you're confused what I'm referring, like DK, like maybe you speak like a language that those 2 letters don't make sense. Just click it and it will show you a Death Knight. Okay, but just in case. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about how you use this, all right? So what you want to do here is come up to this data row thing here, okay? And what you can do is go down to filter views. Now, you could also download it. Okay. If you'd like to do that, you can do all of this offline as well. And I think you might be able to do even more. I'm not going to show that today because yeah, no reason to, but you can do that if you want, download an offline copy and manipulate it however you like, including making changes. Obviously, the link I'm giving you as a viewer is not allowing you to make changes because that would be ridiculous. But so if you want to view with filters, this is how you do it. Go to filter view, create a new temporary filter view. Now, something to keep in mind, this is going to permanently change the document, but just for you, okay? It's going to make any alterations that you make to this document will not change it on my end or anybody else's end. And in fact, when you refresh the document, that will be gone, okay? So just keep that in mind. But again, filter views, create a new temporary one. You can create multiple. I don't necessarily, like I say, don't know a lot about this, but you can create another one for some reason. I'm not sure why you would, but either way, yeah, it's like, I think it's something that's meant to be like, oh, you created this filter view and then you exported it and you gave it to somebody else. But we're going to be learning about this as we go together because I don't know much about it, frankly. Like, this is the first time I've ever done something like this. So hopefully maybe you guys could teach me more about it. But so let's talk a little bit about some things that you can learn kind of like from a statistical perspective, okay? So first things first is if you won't be able to see it because the webcam. Let me move the webcam. Just real quick, I just put it up here for now. Actually, it's fine. So at the bottom right of the screen, you see here, it might be hard to see, but it says count 333, bottom right, okay? So that has selected every entry in this column, and it has shown you the amount of entries. So that means that there is 333 entries in this column, meaning I recorded already 333 runs just on the channel alone from season 4. That's ridiculous. But you have to remember that one of the entries is not a dungeon, right? It's the header of the column. So just keep that in mind. If you're looking for the count 333, the real number is actually 332, right? So that's something that you keep in mind. This is going to be very important. We'll show this off. Now, for example, if you immediately, like one of the maybe like most cosmetic approaches is just to automatically go by date, right? So we wanted to start with only the most recent runs. So you just click this here. Now, if this is not here for you, you see these little 3-line things. If these are not here for you, just like manipulate it, like just do like, I don't know, sometimes when I did this it wasn't here for whatever reason. I'm not really sure why, but I just kept refreshing, or I think like one of them was here and then I just changed the range and then just changed it back and then they all appeared. But there should be, this indicates a filter, and there should be a filter for every single slot here, okay? So anyway, so if you want to see by date, you can go this way, or maybe you just want to see from the beginning, right? So like this is the first day we recorded or streamed Mythic Plus in season 4, okay? So February 1st. You could start from the beginning. Maybe you could learn something about how many keys we did, how successful they were in the season, etc. Yeah, but that's something that you could think about. Otherwise, actually, that's not right, is it? It's not actually sorting properly. But either way, that's strange. Yeah, okay. So that's actually something to think about. It's not actually sorting it A to Z, because what it's doing is it's assuming it's not a date. It's assuming it's text. So it's the first letter is all that matters. So 2 to 4 to 5, and then 3 to 4 to 5. That's very interesting. Okay, well, if anybody has a suggestion to how to fix that, let me know, because I'm encountering that for the first time, but I'm glad we did it live. Anyway, other things that I know work for sure. For example, if you want to see only the freeholds, right? So this is how you might do that. You would filter by values. If that's not checked, select filter by value. You could also filter by condition. I don't know much about this, but maybe you guys know more, so you can do that too. Filter by color is not going to be used here, but otherwise filter by values, and then you'll see it'll show you every value that I entered in this, in this column. So you say like, okay, I only want to see the toll de gores. So I'm going to select unclear. I'm going to clear all of them. Instead of select all, I'm going to clear them all. And then I'm going to select toll de gore. And then I'm going to press OK. And as you see, it's going to show only the toll de gores. How cool is that? That's pretty good, right? So you can see every toll de gore I did. And then if you want to see, say, only the toll de gore sanguines, right? Which is definitely a bad affix. Clear all, sanguine, boom. Look at that. So we've only recorded somehow. That's hard to believe. But we've only recorded 4 Toldagor Sanguines on the channel. And let's see, only 2 of them were on my Bloody Cave. That's really surprising. But yeah, so there you go. That's some interesting information. You know what I mean? Some unbiased facts about the matter. We seem to avoid Toldagor on Sanguine, which is not surprising to me because I hate that dungeon. But yeah, that's something to think about, you know? So, and then if you want to clear it, you can just start over, or you can kind of work your way backwards. But I like to just refresh and start again. Now, let's say, what would be another thing to do? How about this is the best one here. Okay, so let's take a look at every key based on its success. Okay, so we're going to first start with disbands. Okay, so we're going to clear all and we're going to choose disband. Okay, so now this is only going to show disbands, and there's quite a lot of them. Okay, there are 81 disbands, well, 80 disbands recorded so far this season that we've done on stream. Okay, 80 disbands. But not all of them are on my DK. So let's go ahead and now look at DK only. So again, clear all, look for blood DK only. All right, that's it. Ironically, if you notice, there's not actually for disbands. Like this is still like outweighing the other one. So there's no shaman, no bear druid, no hunter. We did not disband any keys on those characters, which is interesting. But anyway, here's blood DK. So there are now 67 total runs that were disbanded on my blood DK. Okay, and these are all yeah, most of them are real keys. I didn't really do any non-real keys. Some of these are like really early in the season, so it's hard to count, but this is just the facts of the matter, you know, from as far back as January, we have runs that are very low. But otherwise, most are legitimate. And you could also do that too. If you want to like exclude, yeah. So let's look at 15s and above that are disbands, okay? So there we go. So now we're looking at only keys that are 15 or higher that are disbands. And that is 60 entries. That's 59 total runs. Okay, now let's look at keys that are completion or yeah, let's just do completion only. Okay, so these are keys. So what do we say? 59, right? Is that right? I think I already messed it up. But anyway, yeah. So now there's 54 runs that were completion this season. Oh, but see, now it's added Resto Shaman because on the previous filter there was no Resto Shaman or Guardian. So now it's added that. So now we're back to that. And we still have the same filter here. Oh, no. Now it's added 10, so we need to go back and do that again. And that's it. Okay, anything below 15. Good. So now we have 50 total entries, so 49 total runs that were completed on my Blood DK above 15 in Season 4. Okay. And then, say, the final one would be upgrades, which obviously we're not going to have any upgrade plus 3s above a 15, but I assume still good. All right, good. So there you go. Okay, so that is now every key that we did in Season 4 on my Blood DK that is above 15 that is upgraded. And that is 74 runs. So very interesting, right? I quite like this. So there's been 74 upgrades or better. There has been, let's do it one more time. There has been 49 completions. And there has been, oops, wrong one. And there has been 59 disbands. So think about that. If you combine, let's combine both just to get the exact number. Both completions and disbands. This is a key like that was not going to give people Raider IO score for the most part, right? Because whether it was going to be a disband or completion, it's not an upgrade. And the way the system works is most people just don't care about that. So more than half of those runs that did not give Raider IO score, people gave up on. Okay, but total 108 runs that did not go to completion and an upgrade as well. You know what I mean? So that's interesting stats. And then, like I said, you can do just about anything with this. So you could say, let's look at disbands only, and then you can go through every one of these keys and see like how many, you know, what was the most obvious reason for the disband, like. And we can make a separate sheet. I'm actually thinking about making a separate page on this sheet. Like right now I have BFA, then I'm going to have Shadowlands down here. I'm thinking about making a separate tab for like statistical analysis only. So we might look at this filter, like, okay, here's all the Blood DK keys above a 15 that were just like, you know, disbanded. And now let's assign a reason for each disband. So I'll go through these, you know, however many runs it's going to be by the end of the season, 50 some runs already. Go through every single run, take a look at the video, and we'll say, okay, I messed up. I was the reason for the disband. You know, what else? The tank, well, not the tank. Obviously, I was a tank, but like the healer left, or Azerlon players, something like that. And you can do this yourself too if you want to do it. So this is a really great. I think it's a really great opportunity for everybody to hopefully get a look at this themselves and learn even more from the runs that we're doing. Another cool thing you might be able to do. Let's just clear all this. This is something that I was just thinking about. Another thing you might be able to do is look at the percentage of players in the keys as well. So like, the comp. So we could take a look at, let's say how many have a demon hunter, for example. So you can make it so there has to be a demon hunter. As long as it's not blank, there's a demon hunter in the key. That's how I've done it. It's a little bit different than maybe most people would think, but I just put the number of demon hunter DPS in the key. So as you see, this is every run with a demon hunter. Some runs have 3, so run with 3 demon hunters. But that's, again, let's look at only DK, right? Because that's what we really want to see. Look at only blood DK. Okay, so how many demon hunters are there in the key? 100. Oh, and actually sums too. You see that? Wow, that's really cool. I didn't know that did that by default. That's really cool. So we ran with 153 demon hunters throughout 139 keys. That's really crazy. So 139 keys had 153 demon hunters. And then we could also do that without this. Let's just say go back to 0 as well. So we could see the total proportion of demon hunters is actually 153 demon hunters for 225 keys. So that's pretty ridiculous. So you could do some basic math there and see that demon hunter is probably one of the most. We could actually do a summary of all of it. Let's take a look. This is kind of cool. I didn't know you could do this. We did 21 Death Knight DPS, 153 demon hunters, 44 druids, not all balanced, 89 hunters, 68 mages, unfortunately, 15 monks, 15. That's more than I thought. We're making sure we're right here, right? Before we go through all this, yeah. Okay, 15 monks, 21 rep paladins. That's more than monks. I'm surprised. 22 shadow priests, 83 rogues, 37 shaman, 23 warlocks. That's a lot lower than I thought, and 99 warriors. So goddamn, that's a really cool. I'm really happy that I did this, honestly. So I'm going to keep doing it. Every run that we do on stream will be recorded as a separate video. Like I said, from now on, they're mostly going to be like this. Let's show you what I mean one more time. It's mostly going to be this, where it's an unlisted video. In the future, I don't want it to be an unlisted video. In the future, I want it to be a video that everybody will be able to access besides people with the spreadsheet. And the reason I'm doing that is so each of these runs can stand on its own and people could find them easier. Also integrated with the spreadsheet, but of course, also to find on their own. Perhaps they're looking for Blood DK, typing in Blood DK Mythic Plus and Blood DK Mythic Plus Shrine, and they're looking at they find the dungeon. You know what I mean? And what I'll do is, since it's going to be pretty spammy, I'll use a feature on YouTube that allows me to not send the video out to the subscriber forum feed. So it's like, people aren't getting spammed with like 10 videos every time a stream ends. But then, if you want to find it on the channel, you can find it easily. So what do you guys think? So what I would love to hear in the comments section, other than, like whatever you want to say, is what would you want to see improved on? Now I can already think of some things that I could improve on. Like, for example, I could show my talents and essences for each dungeon. That would be something that I could do, but I think it's outside of the scope of the sheet. Like gross scale, it would be very hard to add it to the sheet. And what I could do instead is do it in the video itself. Like, for example, if I could stomach it, I could try to add it to the video, or maybe one of you guys could add it to a comment on the video. Of course, I can't comment. But anyway, yeah, that might be something that would be maybe easier for the fans to do. For me, it would be a lot harder. And I'm going to tell you why it would be a lot harder to add talents and essences, because I would have to meticulously comb the video to make sure I was right about that. And that's not always the easiest thing to do. And the reason that I would have to do that is because Raider.io does not accurately record these things. For example, if I did, looks like I did like 5 runs on my DK this day, 428. If I went to 428 it would have the wrong essences recorded if I change from freehold to junkyard. It basically, when I log out during that session, it will show me whatever I had that day, not individually. At least I believe that's how it works. But yeah, it would be a lot more work. Let's put it that way. And I'm not necessarily opposed to doing a lot more work, but I think that this is very useful on its own. So if you have any suggestions or anything that you think, maybe you could help me with as well, or that, you think you could see me doing that isn't going to add, like, so what I was saying before is like, I'm going to stream for 5 hours, and then I'm going to spend maybe another hour working on this concept, right? Like the big thing will be uploading the videos. My upload's not great, so it takes me a long time to upload these 5 videos, or maybe seven or 8, depending on the dungeon. How they go, and also the length of the stream. So I'm happy to work another, however long it takes for those 7 videos. But like to add like another half hour to each video by looking at essences or maybe other big info, then it starts to become a little rough. So just let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you would like to use the sheet. It's going to be in the description, so you're welcome to use it to your heart's content. And yeah, maybe try downloading it and see what happens. Maybe you can manipulate it in other ways too. The main thing that I'm disappointed that people can't do is, if they don't care about the actual fixes, there should be a way to collapse this, but fortunately it doesn't work. I'll show you. Well, I don't think I can, but yeah, either way. So let me know. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to taking this concept into the future, especially Shadowlands. I really, really am excited about what it's going to look like in Shadowlands, because I think, especially at the beginning of the expansion, a lot of people want to see, every specific run. Whereas now it's kind of like, oh, we've seen them all to death. Let's see the comedy or the hilarity that ensues. At the beginning, everybody needs to learn, including myself. So I can learn a lot from my own runs. And then also we talked about maybe doing like highlights. We might take a look at the sheet and say like, okay, so let's take a look at every atoll run, and then we're going to analyze. We're going to analyze every atoll run that we do. So it's like, okay, so what did I do for atoll? Let's see. Well, early in the season, January 24th, I was doing this. But then February 24th, I was doing this. And then April 24th, I was doing this. You know what I mean? Like some kind of gross scale. But yeah, that's cool. So let me know what you guys think. I am very interested in hearing your thoughts on this. And I'm very interested in producing the best content the channel can. I think this is going to help with that. So yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.